to capture the 125 West Crown. The 30-second board is up, as you see there. And these young riders all looking for future stardom in the 250 ranks, gunning to make an impression here with the 125s. Wyndham once again starting 4 spots off the shack on the inside.
Rusty Holland right there on almost on the far inside. Casey Johnson with the far inside slot. He's got to get an incredible jump out of the gate to have any kind of a prayer in that first corner.
Board sideways. It could drop any minute. Any second it does. Wyndham with a good jump along with Casey Johnson on the inside. Casey Johnson, number 58. Kevin Wyndham, number 38. Ashkenazi in 3rd place right now with Holland along with Willow. And they get jammed up in that corner. Coming out of it is Casey Johnson, who had such an impressive ride in Texas. Wyndham right behind him, though. 147 is Pedro Gonzalez now in 3rd with Ashkenazi in 4th.
An incredible start, Art, for Casey Johnson. I just pointed out he's on the far inside. Everybody that's done that so far tonight has gotten squeezed out in the first corner. He had just enough, gave Wyndham an elbow, and now he's got the lead.
Casey Johnson with a 2nd place finish in Dallas as we go back to 3rd and 4th. You see it there, Pedro Gonzalez and Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi's quite a story. He came out of Australia, the former national champion, and with about 250 bucks in his pocket, went to the first 125 race in a pickup truck. His girlfriend was his mechanic. Well, he made an impression, and Primal Honda's picked him up, and he is battling, and he is getting in front of Kevin Wyndham into 2nd place.
It's a great pass. Looked like Wyndham got him back, though. He wasn't able to do that double jump. Here comes Ashkenazi on Gonzalez now, but you know, Casey Johnson is opening up a pretty good lead, and I have to think back to when he had that good run in Dallas. It was hard-packed surface just like this. That leads me to believe he likes it hard and slick.
He has a 3-second lead as we take a look at Gonzalez, the former Mexican champion, 147.
That hard-packed slick stuff in Dallas is really what gave Wyndham so much trouble. The way it looks so far, he's losing time to Casey Johnson. Getting pressure from the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th riders, rather. Gonzalez and Ashkenazi keeping Wyndham on.
Casey Johnson, Wyndham, Gonzalez, Ashkenazi, and Nelson now moving in there in the top 5.
You can see the wind blowing across the track. That's another section of the stadium that's opened up, as Marty pointed out. Every time you go up in the air, it's very difficult to keep control of the motorcycle, so you kind of aim into the wind on the takeoff so you can land straight.
Wyndham's picked up a ½ second on the 1st place rider, Casey Johnson, and you can see how bad the weather is down on the track. Here's Ashkenazi trying to make a move on Pedro Gonzalez.
The wind is really difficult to ride in. The longer you get through the air, especially on those triples, that's a total crosswind for these guys. Before they enter the whoops to the finish line, it's blowing the front end out from underneath them.
Ali Semar, Wyndham's mechanic, as Wyndham making a move on Johnson, closing that gap, going around the very slow Twin Peak rounders before coming off the tabletop. Wyndham picks up speed in certain portions of the track, that's for sure. As we go into the sweeper, Casey Johnson into the triple. And we've got a battle on our hands here coming up.
I think so. It's going to get good. Casey Johnson is pretty physical. He's not going to let Wyndham by. He's going to have to earn it. It's a narrow racetrack.
Pedro Gonzalez is only 3 seconds back of the leader in 3rd. There's Ali with the cyborg. Relax. Don't forget to breathe. That seems fundamental, but in racing sometimes you do forget to breathe. You hold your breath.
You do, especially here in Denver.
Here comes Wyndham. Wyndham's got the lapper on the outside. He couldn't take a different line against Casey Johnson.
Big swap through there.
Oh, my goodness.
Started to lose the back end. It hit one bump, swapped all the way back to the left to get a good job to hang on to it. Didn't lose any time at all.
Ali.
Mechanics trying to figure out, what do I put on that chalkboard?
That's got to be nerves right there, because you really have no control. You can just sit there and encourage your rider. Number 38, Kevin Wyndham, looking to cap a tremendous season off by moving into 1st place and winning.
There he comes up the inside of the whoop section. That's a good... Casey Lytle leaves the door wide open through there, but he's getting through there quick enough to hold him off.
Dobb is in 15th place. So there's really no chance, and Wyndham moves into 1st place. Look at Casey Johnson. He's not willing to give up, though. Wyndham hops in there as the crowd goes bananas.
Looks like Johnson's got him back for the moment. Wyndham's got the inside, cuts him off
Oh,
completely.
good block. Very good block as Kevin Wyndham has moved into first place. Let's go down to Marty Reed.
I'm very interested in Ali Seymour down here. Your man's just moved into first place. How much does this wind have an effect on this race?
It doesn't really. He's just got to ride smooth and be cautious. But he wants to win. He wants to try to win.
He's got to get over to get his sign up for this time. He's coming through for this lap. I got to tell you guys, it may not be affecting them. It's affecting us.
Oh, look at him just blaze through the end zone whoops as he goes over the finish line jump. Wyndham winning the first three races of the year, then was injured, sat out San Diego with a broken collarbone, but then came back in the next race, won Houston, took a third in Dallas after the hole shot, and won the last race in St. Louis.
Well, what happened on that last lap, there you see third and fourth, Ashkenazi and Gonzalez. Those guys stayed close. All that block passing between Johnson and Wyndham for the lead allowed those guys to stay in touch with the leaders. They're starting to lose a little time now.
Ashkenazi 8:38 there on the red machine. It's still close for first and second, though. Wyndham trying to pull away. Let's see him if he can blitz these whoops again.
As he goes through there, whatever he puts on the chalkboard, Casey Johnson can read it too.
Look at Casey Johnson. This is a very, very impressive race. It looks like it might come right down to the wire. Wyndham, Johnson, Ashkenazi, Gonzalez, Amalum, and down goes Casey Johnson, number 58. Ashkenazi passes him. He doesn't let Pedro Gonzalez, though, get in front of him, so he pops up in third. Now he's in fourth. Probably his bike is a little jammed.
Well, when you fall over like that in this hard-packed soil, he could have bent the clutch lever a little bit, and these guys use the clutch so much, especially here in Denver. We already brought up the fact that these bikes don't make the same horsepower at altitude. The 125, it's amplified even more.
So that truly takes the heat off of Kendon Wyndham now as he will enter the whoops. And we'll be back with the run to the checkers and the 125 main from Denver, Colorado, right after this.
What do you see in this blood? Interesting. And this one? I see. And finally... Oops, my mistake.
Suzuki Dual Sport motorcycles. 4 personalities, 1 great line.
Oh, I see.
1/900 pro race. Up to the minute race.
These are no ordinary riders. And this was no ordinary year. Honda, not your ordinary motorcycles.
Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado. Kevin Wyndham looking to lock up the 125 Western Crown, has a sizable lead here in the main event. After a great battle with Casey Johnson, Johnson going down. Also, Chad Pedersen went off the track. So if you don't hear his name up near the front runners, that is why. Number 21 going off the track. Dobb is only in 13th place right now, number 19. Something wrong right now as his bike is slowed down. James Dobb, second in the series. And it looks like Kevin Wyndham pretty much has it in the bag now.
Yeah, the title's going to be his. I can't really see what's wrong. He's holding his right leg up kind of funny. You can see the frustration as he went over one of those jumps back there. He kind of made a gesture with his head like, oh, maybe he lost a foot peg. He's got his foot on the engine cases.
It's got to be tremendously frustrating, David, for him because he wanted to go out of this season in grand style.
Yeah, he's missing a foot peg. That's frustrating.
It was Dobb who does not have a job after this race. He turns into a privateer for the outdoor season as his temporary ride for Team Suzuki is over. He, of course, subbing for Craig Decker for the season. Decker injured, unable to run, but Dobb now says he's going to be more like a businessman on the phone. As we go to the Honda stopwatch, here's our leader, Kevin Wyndham, going through the screen. Ashkenazi, about a 5-1.
Yeah, just a little under 5 seconds, I think, for now, but he's actually stayed about the same for the last 3 laps. So when they get into lap riders, when they get into the end, and typically a leader starts to savor that lead a little bit, think a little bit about the checkered flag, second place can make up some time, as you see Dobb now. Riding back to the pits.
Dobb goes to the pits. Let's go to Marty Reed.
Yeah, guys, it is a broken right foot peg. He can't get his balance. He's out of this race. The championship is settled.
Number 38 as we take a look at the lap time now as Kevin Windham comes around.
Looks like Wyndham's riding really slow right now, but the track is so slick, you've got to ride like that. Just under 52 seconds. See him steal a glance over to Ashkenazi coming into that corner. All he wants to do is make sure he's got the same lead, and he'll continue to ride conservatively.
Ashkenazi, truly a hungry rider looking for some factory assistance for next year. He took a second place in San Diego for his best performance of the year. You know, it's a dream of every rider to win the #1 plate. And that's what Kevin Windham is looking forward to right now.
Title means a lot. You know, that's what I've always worked for as a rider. You know, just every rider's goal is to you know, win a #1 plate. Hopefully I can do it this weekend. It's been a great year. You know, East-West combined. It's just all around been some great racing. And
all the pieces seeming to fit together now for Kevin Windham.
Working out good. Look the way he goes around that corner. Doesn't even sit down. Feet on the pegs. Excellent balance. Excellent throttle control. On the face of that triple, you can see him squat all the way down to the motorcycle. Soak up that takeoff so he can keep the bike low like we see McGrath do in the 250 class.
Yeah, you think we might see some heel clickers on this one?
I think we'll probably see several of those. The crowd likes it, and he's a good showman. Gonzalez and Casey Johnson now starting to go at it. Casey Johnson going down. No doubt he may have bent the clutch lever, maybe the handlebars a little bit, but he's gotten it back together.
Pedro Gonzalez, number 147, but here's Ashkenazi, number 838, in second place. Casey Johnson has moved in front of Gonzalez. It looks for third, and a block pass by Gonzalez. Casey Johnson almost slipped it on the inside.
Finally gets around, though. You can see a rider down as they went through. That kind of threw off their timing a little bit through that section because yellow flags are waving everywhere. Gonzalez playing it a little safe. Gotta wonder what would have happened had Casey Johnson not gone down. It looked as though that Windham pretty much was in control, but Johnson was starting to put the pressure on. He's done it before, passed him and beat him like that in Dallas.
Nelson was the down rider. White flag, final lap now for Kevin Windham. The battle rages on behind him, but Kevin, what a victory lap this will be.
And we're definitely going to see some heel clippers. Gonzalez has gone down. You know, the wind is, we heard Ali Seymour say he didn't really think it was going to affect the riders out there, the wind, but I believe it does. It really throws your timing off. The breeze flying across the track. Here comes the triple.
Kevin pretty much breezing through it.
No chances. Doesn't want to take any chance on this last lap. It's his first big title.
Checkered flag. Kevin Windham, the heel clicker. Oh, my goodness, on the finish line jump. All it would have taken with a little gust of wind right there, and he'd have ended up, well, way off the track, that's for sure.
I wouldn't have guessed he'd have done it there.
Well, after an outstanding showing at Glen Helen, his first overall on the outdoor national circuit, his first moto win as well. There's Ali Seymour with the #1 jersey. And they're going to take a victory lap on this one. What a tremendous thrill for this youngster out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
And Seymour just takes over the controls. Now, Seymour, for most of you who don't know, he used to race. I raced against Ali Seymour. Now a happy mechanic for a kid with a lot of potential, and he's showing us what he's made of already.
Well, there's a great relationship between these two as well. As we mentioned, Windham is out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but of course the Yamaha test track is in California. Now, these two bought a house together. They live together and train together, and obviously when it comes time to work on Saturday nights, they also win together.
Well, this is a pretty bonding experience. Anybody that rides around the track with somebody like that, they're both smiling, they're both happy. They did this thing together, and it's got to feel good. And you can expect this kid's going to be a real threat in the future. And when he moves into the 250 class, look out, McGrath.
It is Kevin Windham's 6th win of the year, and don't forget he went 3-1 on the 4 East-West Division matchups this year.